What's going on, real estate agents? In this video, I'm going to be talking about an AI tool that is going to solve a huge problem in your business. Well, I'm assuming you're a real estate agent because that's probably why you're watching my channel, or at least you're involved in the real estate industry in some way. And if you are, that means that a lot of your business happens on your cell phone. We're constantly juggling phone calls, random numbers calling us from new inquiries, or clients who change their phone numbers or office numbers. There's texts coming in from lawyers and mortgage brokers and other agents and buyers and sellers. We're constantly missing phone calls because we're on showings or we're in a meeting. And all of that combined results in missed opportunities and poor service for our clients. So today I'm going to be putting you on an AI tool that solves all of that for you. Now that tool is called Quo, and they are actually the sponsor of this video. Now Quo used to be called OpenPhone. You may have heard of them before, but basically they took the problems that all of us have experienced before of having a super unorganized and clunky fractional phone system, built an entire cohesive system around that problem, and then supercharged it with AI. This means that anytime you have a phone call with your client, anytime you're texting back and forth with your client, all of that information is going to be recorded for you and inputted directly into your CRM so that you can always look back on it. Plus, on top of that, there are a ton of other really cool features like an AI assistant that will summarize the call for you, pick out important information, and you can even build your own custom workflows for your entire phone system that can take various action based off of whether the call was answered, whether it went to voicemail, whether you want to route it to a different team member or have an AI answer the call for you. Tons and tons of different AI features. Now, not only am I going to showcase the tool and all the amazing features that real estate agents like yourself can use, but I've also been lucky enough to partner with Quo and bring you a 7-day free trial and 20% off your first 3 months. All you got to do is sign up for Quo using my link in the description below and in the pinned comment below, and that will get you a 7-day free trial and 20% off your first 3 months. So thank you, Quo, for sponsoring this video and for the amazing hookup for all of my viewers. So in this video, we're going to be diving into how Quo can help you automate your communication, manage your leads, summarize your calls, and even integrate with all your other automation tools like Make.com, Zapier, your CRMs, and any other workflow that you want to add it to. But rather than me just continuously blabbing on about it, let's jump into my computer and I'm going to show you what this all looks like. So first, let's just go over a few details about Quo. Number one, like we talked about, it's essentially an entire dashboard slash CRM slash system for your phone business. So your phone calls and your text messages. Now, like I said, you can integrate this directly with your CRM. So even though they have their own kind of CRM system, you don't have to use it. You can continue to use your own, HubSpot or Lofty or Follow Up Boss or whatever CRM you're using. But what I like about it is they have this really cool flow builder where you can build essentially these different flows that will tell your AI assistant what it is that you want it to do. Now, Quo also works whether you're just a solo agent or you're on a team. If you want to integrate everybody on your team into one place so that maybe the broker or the team leader can, keep track of everyone's conversations, you can do that as well. So it works either way, whether you're solo or whether you're on a team. Their AI assistant that they have built into it is called Sona. So Sona is basically what helps you detect if there's like a new lead, or maybe there was something really important that was talked about on the call, or even maybe you want an AI to answer your calls for you after hours or 24/7. That's where Sona comes in. It's an AI that you can basically instruct on how to handle your calls. Like we talked about, it's your own personal phone assistant. But the big thing for me, obviously being an AI and automation guy, is the fact that you can connect Quo with basically anything. Any of your workflows or your other tools that you're using. They have a direct integration with various CRMs and platforms like HubSpot and Salesforce. But then they also have modules built into Zapier and Make.com. Obviously, a lot of my videos revolve around Make.com because that's the automation platform that I choose to use. But Zapier is the same, but they have modules built into Make.com. So you don't have to, try and put together some API calls. You can just access all the amazing functions right inside of Make.com. So even if you're not using HubSpot or Salesforce, which most of you watching probably aren't, you're probably using a real estate specific CRM, you can still integrate directly into your CRM, assuming your CRM has an API to integrate with. Because you can pop it right into Make.com. Now I'm just going to go over a few of the benefits really quick, and then we're going to dive into the tool itself. So you can port your existing number for free. This is really, really important because if you've been using the same phone number in your business for a while, you probably don't want to switch to a new phone number. You got to change your business cards, you got to change your website, you got to change all that stuff. You can just port your number over to Quo and just start running your exact same phone number, but inside a Quo. You can sync your contacts as well, so that when any one of your leads or lawyers or mortgage brokers or whoever is calling you, if it's synced with your CRM, it's going to know who's calling because that person is already a contact in the CRM. Like we talked about, you can connect to your other business tools, but a really big one is the AI call transcripts and summaries. So every time you have a phone call, you're going to have a record of that. So now you can go back, you can see, what did we talk about on that phone call? What were the dates that we mentioned? What was that price that I said that we were going to list the property for? I can't quite remember. You have all of the transcripts and the summaries that AI is going to create for you. So you can go back at any point in time and either listen to the phone call, you can read through the transcript of the phone call, or you can just get a quick summary of the phone call. They also give you call and message analytics. So you can see, what are my pickup rates? What are my answer rates and things like that. And if you really wanted to, you can build in phone menus. So maybe you want to, add in your admin person or your front desk or your assistant or whoever. And if, there's multiple people there, maybe you want someone who's calling you to go through a menu where it's like click 1 for this person, click 2 for this person. You can set up those menus inside of Quo as well. Okay, so now let's dive into the tool itself. So I just created a brand new account. So you're going to see exactly what you would see when you first join the platform. So right away, as soon as you log in, you're going to see your entire log of any chats or calls that you've had here. So in just a sec, I'm going to send a text message. I'm going to show you how that comes through, how that looks on here. But what's really cool is you can just reply to your text through Quo as well. So you have it all in one place. You can just reply and keep the conversation going inside of Quo. You don't need to go to your phone or to anything else like that. So you can access everything from your laptop or your computer or wherever you're using this. And then on the right-hand side here, it just gives you a summary of whoever that contact is that you were talking to. So you can actually, get some in-depth information about who this is. But let's just kind of navigate through the tool here and just do a little exploration. So at the very top, we got our profile. If we click into that, there's a few options here. So we can set kind of a status. So we can either put a custom status or we can put ourselves as away or do not disturb. So that's kind of helpful if, you're on vacation and you don't want people calling or texting or whatever, or maybe you're going into a meeting or something like that. Then you got your commands. These are just, commands that you want to give to your Quo assistant. So there's different things you can do here. If you want to, make a call, mark something as done, like one of your text messages or whatever. You want to pin a conversation, copy a link, et cetera, et cetera. This is kind of just like a quick menu for different commands that you can do. You can also see next to it, there's a little keyboard shortcut, Command K, and that will just open it up. So if I hit that, then it just pops open here. So it's just kind of a short way of doing things. Underneath that, you have your profile, obviously all your different settings and things like that. This is where you also access your API and your webhooks here, which we will go into a little bit later in this video. Under that is your preferences. So just like it sounds like, this is where you can set some of your preferences. So if you want to change your emoji skin tone, different reaction shortcuts, your theme, things like that. Basically just various settings that you have here. But there's two main things on this little menu here that I want to go over. One is your phone numbers. So this is where you can port your number or you can add a new number. So depending on your setup, if you want to use your current number, then you would port it, or maybe have somebody new join the team and you're going to, just purchase them a number, or you want to have a second number for yourself, maybe for, marketing messages or whatever it might be, then you can add a new number here. When I signed up for this account, they just gave me this number right away. So I didn't need to port my number over or anything. However, if I was using this specific account for my real estate business, I would probably port my number because it'll just be easier that way. Then I don't have to change my social media, my website, business cards, pamphlets, everything that your phone number is attached to, which is for a real estate agent, most things. Now the second thing in this menu is just your workspace settings. That'll take you to this kind of settings page, which you saw with some of the other options that we clicked. But in integrations here, this is where you can connect either your HubSpot or your Make.com or Zapier or whatever. So if you want to connect to Make.com, you can click this button here. All it does is take you to Make.com. But if you did want to connect it, it's super easy. It's just like any other tool inside of Make. You just go and whatever scenario you want to put it in, just search for Quo, Q-U-O, and then you can see they have a ton of different modules here. So I really like how many triggers they have because that's a really, really big one. So you can watch for new calls and recordings. You can watch for new call summaries, new call transcripts, watch for new messages. And then there's also a lot of actions. You can create contacts, delete them, get contacts info, get a text message, etc., etc., etc. So lots of different triggers and actions that you can do inside of make.com. I'm going to show you a basic scenario in just a bit here that you can use. Now near the bottom here where it says webhooks, webhooks are really cool because you can set up, well, just like it sounds, your own custom webhooks. All you would need to do for that is click create a webhook, and then inside of make, you would just do a webhook, a custom webhook here. And when you create one, let's just add a new one, sure, call it that. You would just copy the domain that it gives you, pop that into here, and then you can just put a label on it, like name your webhook basically, and then you just tell it what kind of event you want it to do. So basically you're just saying, like let's just say it's like, I want this one, occurs whenever an AI call summary is completed. So now whenever an AI call summary is completed, it's going to automatically trigger to this webhook, which will go here. So just in case those Quo triggers are not what you're looking for, you can create your own webhooks as well with contacts and with calls and messages, which is another really cool feature. So you can customize that way. And then you have your API as well. So you can generate your own API key and view the documentation if you want to get super custom and start doing some custom API stuff like that. Now also, I forgot to mention, when you are setting up Quo inside of make.com and you put like a module here, it's just going to ask you to connect your Quo account the first time that you're doing this. And you just click create a connection. You can name it whatever you want. And then you just put in, it says OpenPhone API key because Quo used to be called OpenPhone. But to get that, all you do is go to that API section, generate a key, and then just paste it into here. And then your account will be connected. Super, super simple. Okay, so that's that top menu there. Underneath that is search. Pretty self-explanatory if you want to, search through your messages, find a specific one, etc. Underneath that is activity. This is basically where if you have any specific notifications, they're going to pop up here. Underneath that is your contacts. So when you add in your contacts or you connect it to your CRM, then you can see all of your contacts here. You can also click this button up here and you can add in an individual contact if you want to. So that's where you can find all your contacts there. Analytics, obviously, this is where the analytics of all your calls and text messages and stuff are. So you can see how many messages you have, how many calls you have, how much time you spent on calls, etc. This is a really, really useful tool for teams because the broker or the team leader or whoever's kind of in charge of training these team members and, making sure they get better and better, this is where you can monitor how much time are you spending on the calls? How many messages are you sending per day? How many cold calls are you making? And, listening in on our calls, and even have the AI give you insight on how that person is doing on the calls. Where can they improve? Who's doing the best out of the whole team? That kind of stuff. And then underneath analytics is Sona. So this is your AI assistant. Now Quo is hosting weekly webinars of Sona because Sona is a new thing that they've launched. So you can learn how to use it to the best of its capabilities by just jumping in on those weekly webinars. So that's super cool. I really like when tools do like continuous education and really try and show their users how to get the most out of their tool. Underneath all of those kind of menu items is your inboxes. So this is if you have multiple phone numbers, you'll see multiple inboxes. Obviously right now I just have the one connected. This is where we first went when we logged in. So it's just our chats and calls. And then underneath that, you can see any of your team members. So right now it's just me, but I can invite anybody on my team, whether it's another real estate agent or an admin person, the marketing person, whoever it might be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually send myself a text message just so you can see how it pops up here. Now I haven't added myself as a contact because I'm going to be setting it from a different phone number, obviously. I haven't added myself as a contact. So you'll see how a new contact, a new person who texts you would come up inside of your inbox. So I'm going to do that now. So I just sent the text message and it popped up instantly. So that was pretty crazy. And here it is here. It says, "Hey Brandon, I found you through Instagram. I was wondering if you would be able to help me find a home to purchase." So I can reply to it straight through here if I want to do that. I can give them a call up here. I can mark the text as done. I can mark it as unread. I can do all the other commands that I showed you before. What I can also do is I can get AI to write a response for me. I can attach files and I can use emojis. So basically just like your regular text message system, but with AI built in. Now you can see on the right-hand side here, sorry if my camera is covering any of this, but there is no contact here. So all I would do is just add him in, Brandon, upright. create that, and then boom, it instantly creates him as a contact. I can change his company, his role, put in an email for him. I can change who has access to that contact. So if I only want a certain person on my team to do that, I can. And then I can also add notes about him as well. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually call this number and I'm going to have a conversation with me, I guess, just a back and forth conversation with me. And I'm going to show you how that transcript comes up inside of Quo as well. So I'm going to pause the video to do that because I'm actually using my phone to record the camera right now. So I'm going to pause this, then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just finished the phone call. That was actually kind of hard to do because I had to do the phone call through Quo on my computer and then answer the call on my phone and then, mute one when I answered and then mute the other when I was answering. Anyways, the reason why I wanted to do that is to show you what it looks like in here. So you saw when I was in my chats here, this is all the text messages, and you can see, so I got that text message, then I called them. It says how long. You can also play the call.
Hello, Brandon. Hey, Brandon. This is also Brandon. How are you?
So you can play the call. You can hear there's
just
kind of some
wanted to see if
echo
you can
because
help me
obviously my
purchase
phone
a
and
home.
laptop
I found you on
were right beside each other. But you can play the call there, and then it will also give you just a quick AI summary underneath. This is, in my opinion at least, it is a huge game changer for real estate agents because all of this is held in one place. And you may have used OpenPhone in the past, but what's really amazing is now they've built in this AI stuff, whereas before you kind of had to do like a third-party integration and set it up with like make.com to use ChatGPT to summarize, and it's just kind of a mess. Now everything is just built in, which is so amazing. And I can also go to my calls on the left here, and this is where you get sort of more information about that call. So you can listen to it and see the summary like I just showed you, but then you can also click this view transcript, and this is where you can see the entire back and forth. Obviously, normally it would have Brandon Upright and then the client and then me and then the client, but for this example, I was the client and the realtor. So that's why everything has my name, but normally it would be a back and forth. So that's super, super cool because you can not only see every single word that was spoken on that call, but if you don't need to, you can just see the quick summary. So it can say, Brandon Upright wants to purchase a home, found the agent on Instagram, looking for a 2 or 3 bedroom townhome under $500K in the south end of the city. Done. Very, very easy. So all that's pretty cool. You can keep track of your text messaging and your calls in one place. But what about the automation builder that I was telling you about? So if you go to Sona on the left-hand side here, and then you'll see your inboxes that are connected to Sona. So you can click Manage, and that will take you to this page here. And this is where you can start to build out automation flows for that specific phone. So what do I mean by that? Well, this is the one that's kind of defaulted. So let's look at what they've built for this. So the trigger, you can see this little lightning bolt here. Again, this works like make.com or Zapier or any other automation platform where you have a trigger and then you have actions that come after that trigger. So the trigger is an incoming call. So when somebody is calling me, it's going to ring all of the users, meaning anyone who's a part of this account, which is just me. But if you add team members, it would be ringing everybody. And then if the call is missed, then Sona is going to handle the call. And if I click on that, then you can see, well, how is Sona going to handle the call? Well, it's going to have a greeting. Hi, you've reached Agent Automation. The team isn't available right now, but I'd be happy to help. What can I do for you today? You can add in knowledge-based stuff. So information about your company, maybe about your market, maybe about, your buying and selling process, or how does somebody start to work with you? Is there like an application, or how does that all work? Any information you'd want the AI to know about you or your business, you can add that in here. So that's really, really cool. And then you can give Sona specific jobs to do. So like the one that's already defaulted in is if Sona can't help with the request, it captures the caller's message for the team. So basically it's going to take a note for you. But you can also add in other jobs. So if we create a new job, there's call routing. So you can route the call to somebody else. Escalation. So if somebody says, I need to speak to Brandon specifically, then it can escalate the call to me specifically. It can qualify the lead, so you can give it instructions on how to qualify the lead. You can have it schedule appointments for you, which is just insane. So if somebody wants to set up a time to meet with you or to, go see a property or whatever, you can have it schedule it, and it will actually send that person a calendar link, text them a link to your calendar to set up the time. Or like I said, then you can have it just take a note, write down specific details for you. So that's super, super cool. And then after that, we have the next step, which is basically the fallback. As you can see, basically what the fallback means is, let's say your account runs out of credits or something, then it can't kick Sona into gear because there's not enough credits. So what's going to happen? It's just going to send that person to voicemail just like it normally would. But you can see on the right here that there are lots of different steps that you can do, right? So let's just see, maybe we want to customize this a bit. So we have an incoming call, and maybe we want to change this so that if it's an incoming call, it's going to only ring us if we're in business hours. So maybe after hours, we don't want the call to go to us. We want it to just go to Sona, and Sona can answer it from there. So how do we do that? Well, let's add in a business hours condition. So we'll just click that plus button and we'll click business hours. Okay, now we just put in our business hours, obviously. I am on Mountain Time, and I'll just say, maybe not every day, let's say weekdays. I know a lot of real estate agents are watching this thinking, oh yeah, I wish I could only work weekdays, but hey, sometimes you get lucky. So we'll say weekdays from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Those are my business hours. Anytime after that, I want the AI to answer the call for me. And then we're just going to flick this switch here. So that will just turn on this function. And then now that that condition is added in, you can see that it's basically like a router. So if it is during business hours, it's going to ring everybody. If it is after hours, then this is where we want Sona to jump into place again. So I'm going to add in another step, and let's do Sona. And we'll do, yep, that greeting looks fine to me. Normally I would add in some knowledge base stuff, but for the sake of the timing of this video, I'm not going to do that. But I would normally add in information about my company, maybe important emails and numbers, some information about me. So if somebody asks the AI to, tell them about me, it can say, well, Brandon's been in real estate for this long, he services this area, et cetera, et cetera. It can also give that person my email if the person asks for it. Maybe some basic information about, average prices in the market right now and average days on market, general process about how to buy a house or how to sell a house. So if the person asks the AI, it's capable of answering. Add a job. I would just do a message taking job. I don't think for that after hours type of thing that we really need anything. So I think that's good. We'll just do the message taking one there. That's great. You can also adjust Sona's personality and give it a test. So let's just adjust the personality here. We can do formal, neutral, or casual. I'm going to do casual. I like kind of a casual AI assistant on my phone. So let's do that. And then let's test it. I'll just make sure my microphone is kind of close enough to hear. Turn up the volume. Hey there, my name is John. I'm looking to purchase a home pretty soon here. I just found you on Instagram.
I see. What can I do for you today?
Well, I'm looking to get some more information. Is Brandon available?
I can take a message for Brandon if you'd like. What is your first and last name?
John Smith.
Okay, John Smith. Can you summarize the message you'd like to leave for Brandon? And let me know if there is anything else you'd like to add.
Yeah, I just found him on Instagram, and I want to see if he can help me find a home to purchase.
Got it. So you found Brandon on Instagram and want his help finding a home to purchase. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the message?
No, just if he can call me as soon as possible.
Okay, I'll make sure he gets that message. We'll have someone follow up with you as soon as possible. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
Nope, that's everything. Thank you.
Perfect. Have a great day.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. And honestly, fairly realistic. I wouldn't say it's quite on par with like a fully customizable AI agent from, 11 Labs or something. But for it being an additional AI tool that is included in this program, especially for the price of Quo because it's so cheap, that is very impressive. And obviously, those notes that it would take, that was just a test, but those notes would be passed along to you and shown in your alerts there on your page. Okay, so after hours, Sona is going to reply, and then the fallback would be voicemail. Otherwise, it is going to ring my phone. And if I don't answer, then Sona will pick up. So this would be kind of a little foolproof automation here, because 24/7, my phone is going to be answered regardless if it's me or if it's Sona. That way I don't have to worry about if it's a late night call, if I'm on vacation, if I'm, in a meeting or in the washroom or whatever it might be, my phone will always be answered no matter what. And then whenever you're finished, you can just hit publish changes and that's it, and you're done. So that's how you can build a call flow inside of Quo so that you can ensure your phone is always going to be answered. And especially if you have like a team and you want to do, a round robin type of thing, maybe you have just a general number that is on Zillow pages and advertisements and things like that people call, and you want that to round robin across your whole team, you can do that. So that's a quick summary of all the amazing features inside of Quo. But let's say we want to connect it to some external stuff, right? Maybe we want to connect it to our calendar to add in any dates that were discussed on the call straight into our calendar. Or maybe we're not using HubSpot or Salesforce and we want to connect it to our CRM. How do we do that? Well, we're just going to connect it to make.com. So every time that a call comes in through Quo, we're going to look up that person's phone number. We're going to search for the contact based off of that phone number, and then we're going to add that call summary into our CRM. So it's just going to automatically cycle over and over for every text or every phone call conversation. It will put it in there. Now, another really cool one that you could do is something like this, where your call summaries come in. So it's just a trigger that watches for your new call summaries. And we're going to do a few steps to add that stuff to our calendar. So first, we're going to give the call summary to an AI. And we're just going to ask the AI, hey, does this call summary include any important dates that we should add to our calendar? We just specify to the AI, your response needs to be either yes or no, one or the other. And then we just put a filter here to only continue on if the AI's answer was yes, meaning yes, there's important dates in that call summary. If there is, then we're giving the call summary again to a new AI, and we're saying we want you to extract the information here and turn it into an event title, a start date for the event, and a end date for the event. And then we just put all that information into our calendar. So this is another cool way that you can take the information coming from your phone calls and your text messages and automatically update your calendar. Another example that I just thought of is if you wanted to do some kind of lead follow-up with this kind of stuff. So you would have an AI looking at your call summaries. And if you remember in the last automation I showed you with Follow Up Boss, when that call summary came in, there was two different sort of objects. There was the call summary and there was the next steps. And you could take those next steps and give that to AI and determine whether or not we should send that person another text message or an email. So we could say to the AI, analyze these next steps, and if it is a new client that is interested in buying, let's send them our buyer's guide. Or if it's a new seller who is, on the fence and thinking about maybe selling their home, let's send them our seller's package and show them what we're capable of. And again, if you want help setting up any of these custom automations, just shoot me an email and me and my team will be happy to help you. So there you have it, the one-stop AI phone solution that you've probably been searching for many years now. Now from here, there's really three options that you can take. Number one, you can just keep doing it the old school way. You can continue to be unorganized and have your phone calls and text messages scattered around everywhere, and you can't really remember who you've been talking to and who you haven't, and who's been responded to and who hasn't been. You can keep being stressed out about it all. Number two, you can try and rig up your own system using like 6 different other tools and APIs and connecting them together that sort of kind of works, but it ends up just costing you more anyways. Or number three, you can just start using Quo. Like I said, there's a 7-day free trial, so there's no risk of signing up. You can try it out and just see if you like it. It's super easy to port over your number if you want to use the number you're currently using, or you can also get another number from them. On top of that, they're hooking us up with 20% off your first 3 months, so there's really no excuse to not try it out. I mean, really, 7 days free and then 20% off 3 months for solving a gigantic problem in your business, I'd say that's worth it. So if that sounds like a no-brainer to you, the link to get all of those discounts are in the description of this video below, as well as in the pinned comment below. Just click that link, sign up, takes about 15 seconds, and immediately you'll be able to start using the tool. So thanks again to Quo for sponsoring this video. Thank you to you for watching this video and hopefully for clicking subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, click that plus button. It helps YouTube tell other real estate agents like you that this video was useful and helps show it to them. My goal is just to teach as many real estate agents as I can how to start using AI in their business, because AI is here, it's here to stay, and it is taking over everything. So if you don't learn it and you don't adapt, well, I'm sorry, but you're gonna go the way of the dinosaurs. So hit that subscribe button if you wanna learn more about how you can use different AI tools and automations in your real estate business. But other than that, we will see you in the next video.